Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is directed by James Mangold. It stars Harrison Ford, Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Mads Mikkelsen. And in the final movie of the popular adventure franchise, a recently retired Indiana Jones comes out of retirement to stop an old foe from World War II from retaining an ancient relic. Now, I love Indiana Jones. He's probably one of, if not my favourite movie character of all time. He's everything that a man wants to be. The original 3 films, all of them are pretty much perfect to me. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, yeah. I'll say that, yeah. So I was very excited to see this film, but also incredibly nervous. You know, judging by how the last one went, I was thinking, oh, this movie's going to be crap. It's made by Disney as well, a company which I just do not like, really. So I was incredibly nervous, but it's got a good cast. James Mangold, who directed Logan, one of my favourite superhero movies ever, he was attached to the project, directing it. So there was a little bit of hope there. And I am happy to say that while this film isn't great or anything, I still think this was a very solid end to the popular franchise. It doesn't reach the heights of the first 3 movies, but it doesn't fall as low as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, even though in some cases it is a little bit worse than that. I'll explain what I mean later in the review. What I really like the most is what they did with Indiana Jones' character. Because he's pretty much 80 years old now, he's in 1969, he's an old man, he's recently retired, people aren't into his archaeology lessons anymore. He's trying to find his place in the world. And over time, during the adventure, he learns that he needs to be in this world, there's still something left for him. And I think, while that's pretty much the only arc you could probably give him at this point, I think they developed it really well. I also really like how the hunt for the artifact that Indiana is looking for is really personal for him. Something happens in the movie, don't worry, I'm not going to spoil it at all, but something happens and he has to get this artifact, otherwise his life doesn't really go back to normality. So it gives a personal reasoning of why he would want it. He doesn't just go because he wants to sell it, put it in a museum. Actual good reasons why he needs it. And I also think the movie does a good job at explaining the Dial's powers. While I don't really like the Dial's powers, again, I'll get to that in minor detail in a bit, I still think they explained it well, and I did like how it affected the plot in the way. It affects the characters' motivations and decisions, and it just adds this ticking time bomb element, mainly when it comes to the villain, that just brings the tension to an all-time high throughout the movie. I'm also very happy, and this was something I was really concerned about. I'm very happy that the writers and directors didn't just pull action scenes out their arse just because they thought the movie was getting boring. I actually really liked how there was a lot of downtime in this film. I really liked the scenes where Indiana Jones is just expressing his feelings to Helena, his goddaughter. How he feels the world has changed and why he doesn't like it anymore. I really did like those scenes, those nice quiet scenes of just people talking. But when the action was on screen, I was really enjoying myself. When I saw the trailers for this movie, I was really worried that the action would just all be CGI and there'd be weird plastic ragdoll Indiana Jones all over the place, flying from bridges. The CGI is not practical effects like the old movies did. But I'm happy to say that while there is a bit too much CGI in parts in the action scenes, I appreciate that they still tried to do a lot of the stuff practically. The practical effects are the main thing that people love about the action scenes in the other movies. And I'm just happy that they tried to keep that. They tried to please the fans with it. Again, would have liked the CGI to be toned down a little bit, but I have to praise them for trying to keep that core thing in those scenes. And also, I have to give massive praise to Harrison Ford. 80 years old, in his late 70s while filming this. He's still doing his own stunts. You have to give him so much credit. And he is, of course, the main star of this movie. And it's no surprise that he's just fantastic again. As Indiana Jones. I really hope Lucasfilm keeps their promise of not making another indie film without him. Because it just would not work. It would not work at all. Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. Everyone loves him as the character. Everyone recognises him as the character. Even at his old age, he still kills it in this role. Another standout performance was Mads Mikkelsen as Voller, the villain. Mads Mikkelsen was born to play villains. He's like Willem Dafoe. He can pull off a menacing villain just by being himself. That's how good he is. And he's fantastic as the villain Voller in this film. And while I don't really like her character, I do still think Phoebe Waller-Bridge was great as Helena, Indy's goddaughter. I've actually been a really big fan of her. I think she is a really talented actress. I've seen her in a lot of British shows and everything. She's really funny sometimes, so I'm glad she's getting a big role like this. The other positives are coming from other films as well. The great music, John Williams, once again, absolutely fantastic with the music. The classic Indiana Jones theme tunes. Oh, the adventurous music, the new songs just sound so adventurous and amazing. The music's just perfection in this. And finally, the CGI as a whole was great. But I have to praise the de-aging effects. The opening scene where Indiana Jones is in World War II, honestly, it looked like I was watching 1980s Harrison Ford doing his own stuff. We're not fully there yet. There was a few times where he failed to show emotion. So it still shows we are a little while away from getting perfect de-aging. But for what it's worth at the moment, I thought it was fantastic. The effects artist did a great job with that. But this movie does have a few flaws, and it's really annoying. But there are a couple of new characters that were either really forgettable or just plain annoying, plain as simple as that. Helena, Indiana Jones' goddaughter, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, tries to act this smug character, and she's so annoying sometimes. All she cares about is money, and I tried to give her an arc of, oh, there's more to life than money and everything. While I do appreciate what they were going for, they never develop it well at all. Even when they tried to make me sympathise with her, I could just never get past her smug and rude attitude throughout the movie. We also get this kid called Teddy, and this guy is the most blatant rip-off of Short Round from Temple of Doom I have ever seen. He meets Helena in pretty much the same way Indy met Short Round. He acts like Short Round, just less personality and more boring. The movie also becomes incredibly stupid in the third act. They kept hinting at this dial's power, and I was really worried, thinking, don't be as over the top as Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It turned out it was more over the top and more stupid than Crystal Skull. But one thing I will give it, that it does fit well with Indiana Jones' arc and story. But I don't know, one thing with the fourth and fifth Indiana Jones films is that they're too sci-fi-y by the end. With the first three, the artifacts are more religious things, but now we just get into straight up flipping Star Wars stuff and Marvel. And it just doesn't fit Indiana Jones really for me. The final battle is also very anticlimactic. It never felt like a final battle. It felt very simple and easy as opposed to what happened earlier in the film. So I don't know, there was no big like wahoo moment or anything in the final battle. It just felt like a middle second act final battle to me. It was weird. And finally, these are only small nitpicks, but the look and feel of Indiana Jones is there. James Mangold did a great job with making it feel and look like Indiana Jones, but what I have an issue with is that it's just missing like small details from the previous movies. I would have liked just a few little teeny bits of fan service. Not over the top fan service, just nice little pieces just to impress the fans. Like, there's no snake joke in this, which is weird. You know, there's a snake joke in all the other films. Why is it not in this one? It was so out of place. It felt wrong not to have that. As I said, it's not a huge problem, but still, I would have liked them. It would have made the movie a little bit better. But overall, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is certainly not the worst Indiana Jones film. It's certainly not the best as well. It's just bang in the middle of Crystal Skull and Temple of Doom for me. But I still think this was a solid way to end Indy's adventure. I like what they did with Indiana Jones' character. The action scenes were pretty cool as well. The artifact is stupid, but I do like how it evolves itself in the story and characters. But there are some characters that are really annoying. Small details were missing, and the third act just went way over the top. Way too over the top. So it does fumble in places, but I still had a great time with it. And for what it's worth, it's not really a disappointment to me. If you do like Indiana Jones, I think you'll like this one. I can see why people don't, and that's fine, but I enjoyed it for what it was. And I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Not the best, but certainly not the worst. And guys, that's it for the end of this review. I hope you all enjoyed. Next video, it's the finale of The Idol. Pray that I can get through it. Yeah. So excited to have this over. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have seen Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, let me know what your thoughts are. Have a good day. See you later.